Are you looking for the perfect restaurant-style pizza at home? Well, I have the perfect solution for you. Welcome to episode 1 of Delecta's Pizza Making Guide, and in today's episode, I'm going to show you how to make the perfect pizza dough at home from scratch. सबको लगता है pizza dough घर पे बनाना बहुत difficult है, but well, here I am to bust the myth. With a little bit of arm workout and easily available ingredients at home, we are gonna learn how to make pizza dough that you get exactly in the restaurant. So let's begin. Now firstly, to make that restaurant style pizza dough at home, the key ingredient is using yeast. Add your yeast in a bowl and we are gonna let it proof. Now here's something that you need to keep in mind. There are 3 different types of yeast which are available in the market. Fresh yeast, active dry yeast, instant dry yeast. Now you don't have to get scared of any of them because I'm going to give you the solution of how to use them in the recipe. In case you're using fresh yeast, just double the quantity as mentioned in the description and add it directly in the flour. Now if you're using instant dry yeast or active dry yeast, you can use it interchangeably. Follow the same measurements and follow the procedure that I'm going to show you right now. Now I like to follow this procedure for both active dry and instant dry yeast, where I add the yeast, add a little bit of lukewarm water, sugar to activate it so that I know that my yeast is not old and it's still active. To this, I'm going to add lukewarm water. Ensure that the water is lukewarm and not boiling hot and not very cold. If your water is boiling hot, what will happen is that your yeast will die and your dough will not proof. And in case your water is cold, again, it will take a lot of time to proof. Next to this, I'm going to add a little bit of sugar. Now the sugar is not for you, but it's the food for the yeast and it's going to help activate our yeast. We will give this a good mix and we will let it sit for around 5 to 10 minutes till we see slight bubbles on top. That means our yeast is proofed. Our yeast is dissolved. Let me keep it aside for 5 to 10 minutes while I'll get my other ingredients. Next, let's add our flour to the bowl. I'm using refined flour over here, but in case you want to make it slightly healthier, you can use 50% whole wheat flour also. Our yeast has been proofed and as you can see, there are nice bubbles on top of it, which means that our yeast is active and ready to be added in the flour. Add the fermented yeast mixture to the flour and add it gradually. Well, it's been quite some time that I've been kneading this and as you can see, the dough has come together really well. But we are not done yet because there's a little more kneading left. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to place the dough on the marble top and knead it for 5 to 10 more minutes. Well, this is the time when your arm workout is going to start. Now the technique to knead this is, you stretch it forward, pull it back and then keep repeating this motion. This helps develop the gluten and we will get that perfect stretch in our dough. If you're wondering why haven't I added salt till now, well, we add salt right in the end when our dough is ready because salt and yeast are enemies. So here I have salt added on top of the dough and also I will add a little bit of oil on top of this. I'm using olive oil, but feel free to use oil of choice. Ensure to mix it all well so that the salt is well incorporated in the dough. Now how do we know our pizza dough is ready and इसे कितने time तक knead करना है? Well, there's something called as the window pane test, which I'm going to show you how to do it. You take a small piece of dough and keep stretching it till it becomes slightly see-through. Once our dough is slightly translucent, that means it has passed the window pane test and you can proceed further. Once our dough is ready, I'm going to proof it in a bowl. Now generally it takes 1 hour, but it also depends on which area you're living. If you're living in a very cold environment, it might take longer than an hour. And if you're living in a hot and humid environment, it might even take 30 to 40 minutes. So do keep an eye on the dough after 30 minutes. If it has increased or doubled in size, that means that the dough is proofed and ready. Also, here's a pro tip. You can keep this inside a switched off oven so that it creates a nice hot and humid environment for the dough to proof. We will also cling wrap the dough before proofing it so that the dough doesn't dry out. So I'll be right back once our dough has doubled in size. So as you can see, the pizza dough has doubled in size. Once the dough has doubled in size, I'm going to apply a little bit of oil on my hand so that the dough doesn't stick and we will gently knock it. As you can see, there are perfect air bubbles on the dough and our dough is super soft, which means that it's fermented really well. Now for the next step, I'm going to take another cling wrap our dough and keep it in the fridge for 30 minutes. Well, why do we do this? To get a perfect texture on our pizza. And also, in case you want to make this the next day, you can leave it in the fridge overnight too. As you can see, our perfect pizza dough is ready, which you can use to make different types of pizzas at home. So pizza dough ready hai. Ab kya bacha? The perfect pizza sauce, which I'm going to show you how to make in the next episode in Delecta's pizza making guide. So stay tuned.